Hello YouTube viewers, welcome to my channel Science to Technology. In today's show, Rocket Monday, we're going to talk about Starbase progress. So let's dive right into it. So what exactly is happening with that? Well, the last launch where something actually flew was 5 May 2021. Now you're like, wait a minute, that's far ago. As in like we, in few months, will reach a 2 year milestone. So what the hell happened? Well, reality is they had a lot of delay after delay after delay for orbital launch. Back in the days, it was like in March, then it became April, then it became June, then it became December. Now it's said to be in February. Let's see what happens with that. Now, there were certain things that were their fault. Like, for example, they should have done FAA approval before other things. For example, yeah, they could have made the base and start FAA approval, but they did not. They kind of delayed on that part. And not to mention, they directly tried to push it. That backfired on them, forced FAA to go through way too many extra steps. So, yeah, again, that's a bureaucracy, red tape, and all that, but it did took time. On top of that, because of that delay and all that jazz, it created a lot of new guidelines that they had to follow. For example, there were a lot of things that they had to take care of, but now there are extra things that they have to take care of. That also takes time and money. Uh, while all of that is going on, SpaceX is still a company that has past obligation, meaning obligation to Starlink company. They have to make sure that Starlink is still launching satellites. They have Dragon contracts that had to be met. All those things have to be done properly. While all of that is going on, they also took on more contracts of future obligations from T-Mobile. Now, why T-Mobile is important? Because here's the deal. Right now, there is no demand for Starship, but T-Mobile is the quote-unquote first customer, because T-Mobile is like, hey, we want satellite internet for basic mobile phones. How will you do that? You need giant satellite network. Who has giant satellite network? SpaceX. So Starlink is gonna work with T-Mobile. And T-Mobile was like, okay, flat out, the Starlink satellites that you have right now, that's good and all, but it's 100% useless. We need V2 satellites, meaning these satellites are good, they are good, they do work, but they are not great enough. And so basically they need V2 satellites. Now V2 satellites are so big and so heavy that even Falcon Heavy can only launch few of them. They need Starship. Without Starship, they cannot launch enough V2s to do that. But again, there is a contract obligation where they're like, if Starship is becoming a failure and it's like it does not happen for whatever reason or takes too long to happen, they have to start launching V2 using basically Falcon Heavy, or create something that works with Falcon Heavy. They cannot just like, oh, give us years, or in years, again, money, serious money is involved and serious obligation. So they have to do these things. So the one of the big things they tested out is hold down clamps. Now you were like, won't they have already hold down clamps? Otherwise, like how the heck that is working? Well, you have to understand, this rocket has never been tested weight wise, as in, have it been stacked? Yes. Have it been fueled before? Yes. But here's the deal, it was never stacked to a point where it's like 100% ready to go, meaning booster is fully fueled and Starship is fully fueled. That never happened. Consequence of that is they do not know whether the launch mount can actually clamp that puppy down, because be mindful that puppy has to handle two directions of force quite well. For example, gravitational force going down, because again, when you're fueling it up, that's all there is. On top of that, once that is done, you also have to hold it down going up, because again, engines only have one control vector known as vector controls, meaning they're gonna move their system. That will only work if they are generating thrust. If they are not generating thrust, rocket cannot steer itself. For that reason, all the clamps have to hold on long enough where they can get positive confirmation that all the engines have been lit and they are generating thrust. And there is a bit of gap there, like few seconds. Like if you have 33 engines, it supposed to take, let's say, 2 or 3 seconds before they are like, no, all engines are lit, all engines are producing thrust, all engines are at optimum pressure. Basically, they are creating enough oomph that like clamps can like, okay, now I can let you go, and now you're gonna go and maintain yourself. Because again, if they launched it, let's say, with only 20 engine going full spool up, where they're like, I'm ready to go, and they launched it, rocket will fall back because it will not have the ability to control itself. For that reason, clamps have to handle dynamic pressures, like going downwards, gravity, going upwards, rocket thrust, and it has to handle long enough, even in some scenarios for launch abort, meaning all engines could have been firing full force, and maybe they're like, shut it down, and again, shutdown will take time. So that clamp should have like, I got this. So CAD simulation was the first tool used. Of course, that's how they designed it. But again, that's good, not great enough. You cannot build a bridge on that. So, and be mindful, if they try to test it on final stack, and if any failure happens, this has enough boom potential that it can wipe out Starbase, fundamentally speaking. And again, not even it has to go completely boom. If it falls like as a giant water tank, it will wipe out like tank farm particularly. So they have to do it. So what they did is clamp testing was an opposite way, because nothing that big and heavy enough exists. So they are like, okay, we're gonna test create value 5,000 tons, divide it by all the clamps, then divide that by half, meaning they're going to test 2 clamps at once. So that gives them a tonnage load. That tonnage is around 480 tons, or actually even lower than that, but they have that kind of tonnage mass. This mass can be moved around without too much hassle. Okay, done that. And then they're going to create a rig, custom rig. This has been done. This is what I'm showing you is animation, but it has been done. Rig is going to put load on clamps and it's going to pull up, and that should allow them to test everything, whether the clamp can hold in or not. Load tester basically. Basically they're going to take took everything, they're going to test properly, all that jazz. And again, counterweight is quite heavy. 480 tons is just the slab weight. People are assuming the frame that is holding all that slab, it could easily be 500 tons. So some serious weight testing is done. And be mindful, there is a serious risk, because if you do not push it to, let's say, what we call 110% testing, if you load it to 100%, if any of the clamps buckled, rather than breaking, it buckled, bye-bye rocket. So they have to really push it. And many people are suggesting that it is a FAA requirement that you give us something like this in order to verify that you can actually handle the rocket. Because be mindful, things can go wrong and things do go wrong. You need something that is like, I got this. So this is hold down clamp testing, which has been done at this point in time. Then we come to the concrete base. Every time Starship is actually testing, basically the booster is actually testing, specifically with multiple engines, especially like 7 engines or 11 engines, they're destroying the concrete pad. Concrete is like going poof, and this is not hailstorm, this is like concrete. And many times in the past, the concrete was so violently ejected, it destroyed the engine. So they have to figure out one thing for sure. It's like, why the heck concrete is going boom? Well, engines can make concrete floors go boom. If you have any rocket engine going on a concrete floor will explode. Like, and it does not make sense. Why? Well, moisture. Meaning whenever you build concrete, it has moisture in that. Again, it tries to, remove every single bit of it, but something always survives. And not to mention, we live in an environment where we have humidity. So something will also seep in. Consequence of that is like, if you apply heat to concrete, it goes boom. Why the heck that happened? That happened because you had heat go to water became steam made pressure went to boom. So that's why this all thing is happening just because of the raw heat. And Starship has like flat top, meaning the engines and concrete slab. That's it. It's flat. Basically, they are parallel to each other, which in every other launch system, there is an angle there. There's like 45-degree angle. So it diverts it. So stress, heat, and all that. And not to mention, many of them have what we call water dilute system. So that itself is keeping the temperature down. And not to mention, pressure is also low. So it's not causing too much damage. And not to mention, it's a known direction. Even if concrete erodes, it goes on a known location. Here, it will spray out everywhere because, again, 90 degrees. Flat top does have that consequences. So they are trying to use a new type of concrete that is designed for high temperature. There are concrete mix that are specifically built for different type of purposes. One of those are industrial concrete that is fine-tuned for high heat application load. Meaning, on paper, that concrete that they are going to use next time should be high power enough that where it's like all the rocket engine going all in, the concrete is like, I don't care, I can manage it. Is there any concrete that is strong enough? Yeah, many. But they are very expensive, and not to mention only used for certain industrial application. But again, that's the end game. End game is that they're going to have that concrete floor and they're going to reinforce that puppy, and at the end of the day, that's it. It's just a floor that does not get damaged. We'll see with the next testing. Be mindful, so far nothing has been tested with like 33 engines. So concrete bases still needs some work. We really cannot have this sort of shower, because again, one of those shower can go backwards in the engine and destroy it, which has happened in the past. So they really need to sort the concrete part. Concrete likes to go boom. We don't want it to go boom. And there are a lot of auxiliary systems also. For example, there are many subsystems that needs to be done, and none of the subsystems are complete because the launchpad design, this puppy basically that you see, is not final because it's evolving. Now, this is a SpaceX philosophy, meaning they do not work from a finished blueprint, quote unquote. So nobody can steal it. That's one good thing. Consequently, they do burn a lot of money, meaning you can literally look at all the people who are doing amazing coverage on that. For example, RGB aerial photography. You can look at it as like, okay, they had this sort of piping and then they threw it away. Then they made another type of piping, then they threw it away, then they created another. It happens. It's one of those side effects of having an evolving design. But it does allow you to have a fully working, fine-tuned solution rather than a solution that's just like good enough to a solution that is like, damn, this solution is smooth. So design documentations are evolving. And not to mention, even once we have like, orbital launch, the design will still evolve exactly how it did with Falcon 9 series. We had Falcon 9 Block 1, we had Falcon 9 Block 2, Block 3, Block 4, Block 5. So same thing will happen here. So everything that you see here is just Mark 1 at best in this time. Right now, it's not even Mark 1. Right now, it's prototype. And to save weight on rocket engines, the starter circuit they are removing from outer engines, meaning outer engines cannot start on their own. So they have what we call Raptor booster quick disconnects, these puppies. Now, these puppies are only there to spool up all the outer engines. Now, like, why the heck outer engines only? Well, you remember that it has to land, meaning it has to needs the ability to start the core engines on its own. So that you cannot remove the starter circuit. But if you have starter circuit for all 33 engines, that's a lot of weight. So they are like, hey, outer engines does not need to restart. So those puppies will be started from the launch pad. Again, it will reduce complexity of the booster. So that puppy will provide the starter pressure, spooling the turbine, cooling the engine bell down to the required temperature, and only at the last moment where everything is right and ready, it's like final valve will be opened. So that also has to be done properly. Fire suppression and detonation prevention, because be mindful, there is no Whiter deluge system, so there is no authentic way of handling fire here. And detonation is a very critical issue because they are using two cryogenics. They are not like kerosene or liquid oxygen. They have two things. Both of them boil off at room temperature. So both of them are very dangerous. And not to mention they vent a lot of it. So fundamentally it requires a way where they can be like damn sure where it's not pooling up. For example, if you have ever noticed space shuttles, they have like spark wheels, launching. Now people say it's there to ignite the engine. No, engine igniter is on the inside. What is there? That hydrogen leaks. Hydrogen is one of those puppies that do not like a cage. It always leaks. So those hydrogen leaked hydrogen will burn off instantaneously when they leak off. So that's a very little fire event. But if you let it pool up and then you start the engine, that is a boom event. You don't want boom event. You want it to burn off without any hassle. So again, they have to do something similar with detonation prevention system, meaning they're going to disperse all that basically methane and oxygen far enough that even if it catches on fire, it should not be like kaboom. It should be like whoosh. And hopefully not even that. That's why the prevention is there. So they are using little bit of water, not as much as like a full deluge system, but enough as in like dispersant that it should be safe, hopefully. And I'm pretty sure by the time they're gonna do like actual 33 engine test, they're gonna throw it all away and redesign it. I'm expecting that. Then we come to something happened to their bank balance. Elon Musk happened. Because at this point in time, many times Elon Musk was looked as like a savior. Many times people have this like, I want a savior. Like, I want a savior. Please be my daddy. Please save me. So people were putting Elon Musk in that, frame where they're like, he was the next Steve Jobs, quote unquote. But people started to notice that his mouth, like, creating checks that his bank balance cannot cash, and started to catch up. At this point in time, people are literally thinking, like thoroughly, calmly, people with power, people with money, are like, dude, are you an entrepreneur or are you a scammer? And I mean people with law, legislation, those people are looking at it. So it's very serious, and the line is getting very blurry, because be mindful, what Elon Musk is doing is exactly the same thing Theranos founder did. It's like, just give me time, just give me money, I'm gonna make this work. It's like, dude, you claimed you had it working. You cannot take money on something that you do not have. Same with this guy, hydrogen truck. It's like, dude, you do not have a truck. It's like, no, sir, keep giving me money. $40 billion, poof, give me money, I'm gonna make it work. It's like, you don't have it. That's like, flat out illegal. He went to jail. I'm not sure about the Theranos one, but I'm pretty sure she should at least hope for the God she should go to jail. But let's see. And again, Elon Musk is reaching a point where more and more people are noticing that you are more similar to them rather than to any other CEOs who are like, no, this is my company, I'm working in it, or like, delivering. They are, all other CEOs are like, this is what we have, this is what we're going to give you, and this is what we are on the pipeline. Elon Musk is like, this is what we're going to give you right now. It's nothing. And what we have is magic technology. Magic. Basically, in 2014, we're going to have self-driving, even though their own AI experts, own AI coders were like, dude, it can barely do this. Not to mention people have died because they trusted that AI system. It literally ran inside basically 18-wheelers. That gap that you see in Fast and Furious, it did that. It could not differentiate. And why it could not differentiate while other cars can? Because Elon Musk, in his great wisdom, is like, I want the AI to be like human, where it's like it's only relying on opticals. It does not have LiDAR, very advanced radar, and they were trying to remove ultrasound also, and radar also. Did not even try to do LiDAR, that's why it cannot do that. And it's fundamentally stupid. It's like, again, dumb people can believe that, but anyone smart enough is like, we want to use AI driving for one simple reason. It should be better than human. To be better than human, it has to have better senses than human. It needs LiDAR, it needs radar, so it can work in fog, it can work in all the things, it can have exact data. It's like, it cannot be like, oh, I'm guessing based on the images that I'm calculating. It's like, oh, is that far? No, LiDAR will be like, bitch, that is 40 feet away, that's it, done. So that's why. That's why it's stuck at level 2, but they are claiming that it's like, for self-driving, which, mind you, many counties and state departments are like, dude, that's flat out illegal. You are saying that it's self-driving, and then you have a star mark. You cannot have star mark. You cannot say it's self-driving unless it's level 4. And other companies have achieved level 4. There are right now working solutions which are using LiDAR, radar, all that jazz, and they have working taxi services. Elon Musk just claimed it, and again, stock value went up. Now, all that literally started to looks suspicious when you start to sell it. Now, Elon Musk was very clever, where he was like, I'm selling a giant amount of Tesla stock so I can pay taxes. It's like, really, brother? Really? That's the time when it started to go down. And be mindful, anyone dumb enough to think that Tesla stock was like really high valuable and giving this as example has brain damage. Because be mindful, this 1 trillion evaluation is all the global car makers. If Tesla alone has that kind of evaluation, that means somebody messed up, like exponentially, as in people went smoking weed, a lot of weed. Because be mindful, to achieve this value authentically, where you actually have value of that level, you have to replace every single car, meaning every car ever sold has to be a Tesla car. It's not even 10%, it's few percent, meaning flop models from General Motors is like, yeah, I have a flop model that did not sell well. How much? Yeah, more than Tesla. That's the difference. How the heck it can have this sort of evaluation? It cannot. It's the same thing as this hydrogen truck. How the heck it can have $40 billion evaluation? It cannot. It was fake. This is what we call pump and dump, meaning keep like have a stock, slowly build up, like do some good work, slowly build up, like, actual rapport, actual stocks investment, slowly, very slowly, brick, and now start to pump that puppy up. So you have $5 value, you pump that puppy to $15, then you sell it, and then it crashes to $3. And that started to happen in 5 November 2021, started to go down. He dumped a lot of that claiming tax. Then he dumped a lot more for Twitter. At that point in time, it triggered a runaway effect. And be mindful, at this point in time, Tesla is not selling, meaning their demand is down. They literally did price cut in whole wide Europe. You never do price cut. How the heck in this world, if everything is going expensive, you are the one who is doing price cut, and they are doing price cut that is brutal, as in like few $1,000s. That's a lot of price cut. Why? Again, demand basically is not there. So this was the thing that anybody who has like lived long enough, where they're like, there is fake evaluation and there is true evaluation always catches up. For example, Toyota has the revenue wise, actual revenue, which is exponentially more than Tesla. How the heck it has such a tiny value? No, it does not. That's the real value, fake value. And it started to crash on. Now more and more people are losing money. And then it's like, at this point in time, people are like seriously looking at it, like all the claims. It's like, I'm going to give you a self-driving car. No, you can't. I'm going to give you a cheap car. No, you can't. I'm going to give you a self-driving taxis. Like buying this, buying Tesla is the wise decision. Buying anything else is like, bad decision. It's like, how much are weed you are smoking, man? So more and more people are like looking at it closely, where it's like, other than SpaceX, nothing of Elon Musk works, nothing. And every other people who are working in robotics, who are working in neural links system, they're like, dude, what Elon Musk does is like, you have 0 and you have 100. Elon Musk comes, like, let's say we have reached till this point. He comes and starts, it's like, okay, look, in 6 months I can reach here. Now give me more money, I'm gonna cross this puppy. And they never cross it. Like, we're gonna build this robotics. No, you can't. No, you can't. Just can't. Boston Dynamics will like, bitch, please. You can't. Just no, you can't. Neural links, other companies that are actually working on brain interfaces, no, you can't, bitch. You can only reach here, and after that you're like, yeah, we have to bypass all the ethics board, which, mind you, other companies are following. And again, that you can try to cheat, but you still not achieve anything. And that's what's happening. More and more people are realizing. What about Hyperloop? Again, he bypassed it, but people burned money on it. What about, like, Vegas tunnel and all that? Again, burned money. More and more people are realizing that it was just a pump scheme, and he's dumping it. Tesla was a company that Elon Musk acquired for a little bit of money, and now he made it into monopoly, pumped it up, sold a lot of money. He does not have that kind of value where he can like, $40 billion Twitter, I'm gonna buy it. And once he started to deal with Twitter, the fact that he could not do it wisely enough, where it's like, dude, I'm a CEO, I know what I'm doing. Brick by brick, day by day, I'm gonna solve it. No, it's like he just went to people like, dude, even if you want to do right thing, you don't know how to do right thing. So his wealth, like personal wealth, personal deep pocket, took a very serious hit, meaning he lost $100 billion of valuation. That matters a lot. Why? It directly reflects poorly on SpaceX and it reflects poorly on Tesla. Tesla specifically because it's available on the open market. And what does that mean? That simply means they cannot take more loans without like seriously high interest. And other things also, like that business people will explain to you. So at this point in time, he's starting to look more like, Trevor, I think that was his name, from Tesla Motors. Not Tesla Motors, Nikolai Motors or Elizabeth Holmes. Is like, dude, you never had a product that could actually do it. You did not had LiDAR. You did not had like all the system that will actually make a car level 3, level 4, level 5. You're just hoping that people are doing. And he's like removing circuits. I never understood why he's removing things. And then I realized, sales are down. Sales are not happening anymore. And again, you can see that the valuation go down. Now, like it will go up. Let's see. But will it ever reach this? Hell no. Where did people lost money? In this. Like you cannot, like unless every single car was a Tesla, only then it could be $1 trillion, which it's not. So fake evaluation versus real evaluation. So it's gonna catch up sooner or later. It's gonna catch up. And I think the Twitter debacle kind of opened people's eyes. Like, wait a minute, your mouth is just like going all in, but like your brain and your other things simply cannot keep up. It's like you don't have Starship and you are selling contract on Starship. Like, dude, you have not launched like even one orbital shell of V2 satellites and you are claiming its future use. It's like, how? And again, be mindful, this is many times illegal to do, that you can, like, pump and dump. Like this guy went to jail very quickly for that reason. Elizabeth Holmes' case was like, she was saying that he's like, see, I trust my technology, that's why I'm not selling the stocks. And again, the pump and dump, like if judges detected that you are doing pump and dump, yeah, jail. And again, he did that, pump and dump. So let's see what happens. So that's why they no longer have the deep pocket, just explode it as much as we want. They no longer have it. So this was my presentation on basically Starship updates. Hopefully you have liked it, learned from it. In that case, please click the like button, share it amongst your friends. That will help me a lot. If you didn't like it, didn't enjoy it, I urge you to press dislike, press it twice to show me extra disappointment. Please leave a comment because I do try to reply to all of them. Subscribe, press the bell icon if you're free. And as always, thanks for watching.